Hey dear friend, you've found a quiet place to rest and dream. Tonight we'll journey into the quiet mysteries of the universe, where silence holds secrets older than time itself. Take a moment now to settle in. Let your body sink a little deeper into wherever you're resting. Feel the weight of the day beginning to lift from your shoulders. There's nothing you need to do right now except breathe and listen. The universe has been waiting billions of years to share its stories with you, and it can wait a little longer while you find your comfort. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let the darkness behind your eyelids become a canvas for the cosmos. You don't need to stay awake for any of this. In fact, if sleep finds you somewhere along this journey, that's exactly where you're meant to be. The mysteries will still be here, patient and eternal, like they've always been. Breathe in slowly, hold it for just a moment, and let it go. The universe is quieter than you might imagine. Out there, beyond our atmosphere, beyond the reach of wind and voice, there exists a silence so complete that it has no comparison here on Earth. It's not an empty silence, though. It's full of light that travels without sound, full of gravity's invisible pull, full of time itself, stretching in every direction. Tonight, we're going to explore these quiet mysteries together, not with urgency or effort, but with the gentle curiosity of someone watching stars appear at dusk, one by one, softly, inevitably. Let your breathing find its own rhythm now. There's no right way to do this. Just let it flow. The first mystery begins with something so familiar we hardly think about it anymore. Light. Every photon of light that reaches your eyes has been on a journey. The light from your bedside lamp traveled only a few feet. But the starlight that sneaks through your window, or that you remember from the last clear night, that light has been traveling for years, decades, centuries, even millennia. When you look up at the night sky, you're not seeing the universe as it is. You're seeing it as it was. You're looking backward through time itself, and the universe doesn't mind at all. It's been showing us its history every single night, freely, without asking anything in return. The nearest star to us, other than our own sun, is called Proxima Centauri. It's a small, dim red dwarf, barely visible even with telescopes. The light from Proxima Centauri takes about 4 years to reach Earth. 4 years of traveling through the emptiness of space at 186,000 miles every single second. When that light finally reaches us, when it touches our telescopes or our eyes, it's showing us what that star looked like 4 years ago. You don't need to remember these numbers. Let them wash over you like water. Now imagine looking at a star that's 100 light years away. You're seeing a century into the past, 1,000 light years, a millennium. Some of the stars you can see with your naked eye on a clear night are showing you light that began its journey before the pyramids were built, before humans learned to write, before we even understood what stars were. The universe is a time machine that doesn't need power or fuel. It just is. And here's something even more beautiful. Some of those stars you see might not even exist anymore. They may have already died, collapsed, transformed into something else entirely, but their light is still traveling toward us, still crossing the vast dark, still carrying the image of something that once burned bright. We'll see them shining for years or centuries more, ghosts of stars, memories made of light. Let that settle into your thoughts. Memories made of light. You are always seeing the past when you look at stars. The universe doesn't rush, it never has. It's been unfolding for nearly 14 billion years, and it will continue for billions more. You have all the time you need. There's no test tomorrow, no deadline. Just rest, breathe in, breathe out. Let's drift a little deeper now, into the space between stars. This is where most of the universe actually exists. Not in the bright burning of suns or the solid ground of planets, but in the vast, quiet stretches of near emptiness. Space isn't truly empty, though. Even in the darkest regions between galaxies, there are always a few atoms floating by. Mostly hydrogen, the simplest element, the universe's favorite building block. Hydrogen atoms are ancient beyond measure. Most of them were formed in the first few minutes after the Big Bang, when the universe was unimaginably hot and dense. As it expanded and cooled, protons and electrons found each other and created hydrogen. Simple, elegant, and then those atoms just drifted for millions of years in the dark, waiting for gravity to pull them together into the first stars. You're made of atoms that are just as old. The hydrogen in your body, in the water you drink, in every cell, those atoms witnessed the birth of everything. They've been recycled through stars and planets and oceans and living things. They've been part of the universe's story since the very beginning, and now they're part of yours. You don't need to hold on to any of this. Let it drift through your mind, like clouds across a quiet sky. The space between stars is cold, not the cold of winter or an ice cube, something much deeper. In the emptiest regions of space, temperatures drop to just a few degrees above absolute zero. That's about minus 270 degrees Celsius or minus 454 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, atoms barely move. They hover in an almost frozen stillness, waiting in the dark. But even in this cold, things happen. Slowly, silently, dust grains collide. Gas clouds compress under their own gravity. And eventually, over millions of years, new stars begin to form. The universe is patient with its creations. There's a nebula called the Pillars of Creation. You might have seen pictures of it. Towering columns of gas and dust light years tall, glowing with the fierce radiation of nearby young stars. Inside those pillars, hidden from view, new stars are being born right now. Gravity pulls the material together, tighter and tighter, until the pressure and heat at the center become so intense that nuclear fusion ignites, and a star is born. It doesn't happen with a sound. There's no announcement. Just light beginning to shine where there was only darkness before. The universe gains another star, and the process that created our own sun repeats itself quietly across the cosmos. Let your thoughts rest here for a moment. New light in the darkness, beginning without fanfare. If sleep is calling to you now, you can let go. The story will continue without you needing to hear every word. You're safe here. Black holes are perhaps the universe's deepest mystery. The very name sounds ominous, but there's something almost peaceful about them too. They're regions of space where gravity has become so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. They're formed when massive stars die and collapse in on themselves, compressing all that matter into an impossibly small point. At the center of a black hole is something called a singularity. It's a point where our understanding of physics breaks down completely, where space and time become so warped that the rules we know stop making sense. Scientists can describe what happens near a black hole, but at the very center, at the singularity itself, we simply don't know. It's a true mystery. The universe keeps its deepest secrets here. But here's what's beautiful about black holes. They're not cosmic vacuum cleaners sucking up everything around them. If our sun suddenly became a black hole, which it won't, the Earth would keep orbiting exactly as it does now. Black holes only affect things that get very close to them. Otherwise, they're just another massive object, bending space and time around them, quiet and patient. At the edge of a black hole is something called the event horizon. It's not a physical surface. It's more like a boundary, a point of no return. Once something crosses the event horizon, it can never come back. Not because it's destroyed, but because the path of space itself curves so severely that every direction leads inward. There's no path that leads out. Imagine standing at the event horizon, though you never could. Time itself would behave strangely. To someone watching you from far away, you would appear to slow down, to freeze almost, never quite crossing that boundary. But from your perspective, you'd fall right through, and time would feel normal. You'd fall toward the singularity, and the universe outside would seem to speed up, stars aging and dying in moments. It's a place where time and space trade rolls, where the future becomes as inevitable as the past. Let that thought dissolve. You don't need to understand it. Just let it drift. Black holes are also some of the brightest objects in the universe. In a strange way, the matter that falls toward them doesn't go quietly. It forms a swirling disk called an accretion disk, spinning faster and faster as it approaches the event horizon. Friction heats this material to millions of degrees, and it blazes with X-rays and intense light. Some of the most luminous objects we've ever seen, called quasars, are powered by supermassive black holes at the centers of distant galaxies, consuming matter and shining across billions of light years. Light from darkness, energy from collapse. The universe always finds a way to create beauty. Your breathing is slower now, deeper. Let it be. At the heart of almost every large galaxy, including our own Milky Way, there sits a supermassive black hole. Ours is called Sagittarius A, and it has the mass of about 4 million suns, all compressed into a region smaller than our solar system. It sits quietly at the galactic center, 26,000 light-years away, anchoring the slow rotation of hundreds of billions of stars. The stars near the center of our galaxy move incredibly fast, whipping around this invisible giant in elliptical orbits. Scientists have watched individual stars complete their orbits over years and decades, tracing paths that reveal the black hole's presence. We can't see the black hole itself, but we can see its influence, the way it shapes everything around it. In 2019, scientists released the first actual image of a black hole's shadow. It was at the center of a galaxy called M87, much larger than our own. The image showed a glowing ring of light surrounding a dark circle. That darkness wasn't empty space. It was the shadow of the event horizon itself, the boundary beyond which no light returns. 55 million light-years away, and we could see its silhouette. The universe allows us to witness its mysteries, even when we can't fully understand them. Let your mind rest on that image if you'd like. A ring of light around perfect darkness, or let it go entirely. Either is fine. There are mysteries smaller than black holes, but no less strange. Neutron stars, for instance. When a massive star explodes in a supernova, sometimes the core that's left behind collapses into a neutron star. It's a sphere only about 12 miles across, roughly the size of a city, but it contains more mass than our entire sun. The matter in a neutron star is compressed so tightly that a teaspoon of it would weigh about 1 billion tons on Earth. The atoms have been crushed so completely that protons and electrons have merged into neutrons, packed together with almost no space between them. It's matter at the very edge of what's physically possible. Neutron stars spin. Some of them spin hundreds of times per second, rotating so fast it seems impossible. They're called pulsars because they emit beams of radiation from their magnetic poles, and as they spin, those beams sweep across space like a lighthouse. When the beam points toward Earth, we detect a pulse. Pulse. Pulse, pulse. Some pulsars are so regular they rival atomic clocks in their precision. Imagine something the size of a city, more massive than the sun, spinning hundreds of times every second, sending out pulses of light and radio waves into the cosmos. The universe doesn't ask whether something seems reasonable. It just does what physics allows. You can let these ideas float through you. There's no need to hold them. Some neutron stars have magnetic fields 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. These are called magnetars, and they're among the most extreme objects we know of. The magnetic field of a magnetar is so intense that if one existed within 1,000 miles of Earth, it would strip the information from every credit card on the planet. It would pull the iron from your blood, but they're far away, safely distant, shining their impossible light across the void. The universe is full of things like this, things that push the boundaries of what we think matter and energy can do, things that exist in conditions we can barely imagine, let alone create, and yet they're real. They're out there right now, spinning, shining, collapsing, being born, and you're here, breathing softly, resting. Let's drift towards something gentler now. Planets. The universe has more planets than stars, we now know. For most of human history, we only knew about the planets in our own solar system. 8 worlds circling the sun, each one unique. But in the last few decades, we've discovered thousands of planets orbiting other stars, exoplanets, and every single one teaches us something new about what's possible. There are planets made almost entirely of diamond, where carbon has been compressed under immense pressure. There are planets where it rains glass sideways in supersonic winds. There are planets orbiting so close to their stars that their surfaces are oceans of molten lava, glowing red and orange in eternal day. There are planets larger than Jupiter, but lighter than cork, puffy gas giants that would float if you could find an ocean big enough. There are planets orbiting 2 suns where you'd see a double sunset every evening, just like on Tatooine from Star Wars. The universe had that idea first. Some planets are rogue, drifting through space without a star to orbit. Cast out from their home systems or formed in isolation, they wander the galaxy in darkness. Worlds without days, without seasons, just the slow cold of deep space. And yet, even on these dark wanderers, there might be heat deep inside, radioactive decay in the core, or tidal flexing from passing gravitational fields could create warmth beneath frozen surfaces. There could be liquid water under thick ice shells, hidden oceans that have never seen sunlight, where life perhaps might find a way. Life finds a way in the strangest places on Earth, in boiling volcanic vents, in frozen Antarctic lakes, in caves that have been sealed off from the surface for millions of years. If life is that resilient here, who's to say it hasn't emerged elsewhere, in conditions we haven't even imagined yet? The universe might be full of life, or we might be extraordinarily rare. Both possibilities are profound. You don't need to solve this mystery tonight. Let it settle into the background of your thoughts. There's a planet called HD 189733b. It's a gas giant orbiting very close to its star, and it's one of the most studied exoplanets. The atmosphere of this planet is a deep, beautiful blue, similar to Earth's from space, but that's where the similarity ends. The blue color comes from clouds of silicate particles, essentially glass, mixed with the atmosphere. The winds on this planet reach 4,000 miles per hour, 7 times the speed of sound. And those glass particles in the air mean that on HD 189733b, it doesn't rain water, it rains glass, sideways, at 4,000 miles per hour. The universe's creativity is endless. Let that image drift away now, like leaves on a stream. Our own planet Earth is a mystery too when you really think about it. We're a rocky world at just the right distance from a stable star. We have liquid water on our surface, a protective magnetic field, a moon that stabilizes our tilt and creates tides. We have an atmosphere rich in oxygen, created by billions of years of life itself. We're a planet that has been transformed by the living things on its surface, and we're aware of all this. We can look up at the stars and wonder about them. We can build telescopes and spacecraft. We can ask questions about our place in the cosmos. As far as we know, we're the universe's way of understanding itself. We're made of star material that became aware, that learned to think and dream and create. You are part of that story. Your body is made of elements forged in the hearts of dying stars. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you're breathing right now. All of it was created in stellar furnaces billions of years ago and scattered into space when those stars died. You are, quite literally, made of stardust, and so is everything you've ever touched. everyone you've ever loved. Let that thought wrap around you like a blanket. You belong to the universe. You always have. The moon outside your window, or above you somewhere even if you can't see it, is slowly drifting away from Earth. Every year, it moves about 1.5 inches farther from us. It's a slow goodbye that will take hundreds of millions of years. But it's happening. The tides are gradually stealing Earth's rotational energy and giving it to the moon's orbit, pushing it outward. Billions of years ago, the moon was much closer. The tides were stronger. The days were shorter. The moon looked enormous in the sky. And billions of years from now, if anyone is here to see it, the moon will appear smaller, the tides will be gentler, and the days will be longer. Everything changes, but slowly enough that each moment feels eternal. Your breath is steady now. Slow. Easy. Let's talk about time itself for a moment. Time is one of the universe's strangest mysteries. We experience it as flowing in one direction, from past to future, always forward, never back. But according to physics, most of the fundamental laws work just as well going backward in time as forward. The universe doesn't have an inherent arrow of time built into its basic rules, and yet we only remember the past, never the future. Eggs break, but don't unbreak. Stars burn, but don't unburn. Entropy, the measure of disorder, always increases. Time's arrow seems to point in the direction of increasing entropy, from order toward disorder, from structure toward chaos. But even that's not quite right because the universe creates structure too. Galaxies form, stars ignite. Life emerges and builds complex patterns. The universe is getting more disordered overall, but locally, in pockets, it creates islands of increasing order. You are one of those islands, a beautiful temporary reversal of entropy, a living pattern that maintains itself for a little while before returning to the whole. You don't need to understand this. Just let it be. Time also flows differently depending on gravity and speed. Near a massive object like a black hole, time slows down compared to someone far away. This isn't an illusion, it's real. A clock near a black hole would actually tick slower than a clock in empty space, and someone traveling near the speed of light would age more slowly than someone standing still. Time is flexible, malleable, woven into the fabric of space itself. Einstein called it space-time, a four-dimensional landscape where past, present, and future all exist together, and we're just moving through it, experiencing one moment at a time. From the universe's perspective, if it could have one, all of time might be laid out like a landscape, every moment that ever was or will be, existing simultaneously. Your birth and your current rest both real, both present in the fabric of space-time. It's a strange thought, a comforting one in a way. Every good moment you've ever had still exists somewhere in the structure of the universe. Every person you've loved still exists in their moments. Nothing is truly gone, just behind you in time. Let your thoughts grow soft now, undefined, like fog. There's a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. When light from a distant galaxy passes by a massive object like a cluster of galaxies or a black hole, the gravity bends the path of the light. The massive object acts like a lens, focusing and distorting the light. Sometimes this creates multiple images of the same distant galaxy, stretched and curved into arcs across the sky. It's like the universe is creating funhouse mirrors with gravity itself. Through gravitational lensing, we can see galaxies that would otherwise be too far away, too faint. The massive objects in the foreground magnify the background, letting us peer deeper into space and time than we could otherwise. The universe helps us see itself. One of the most famous examples is called the Einstein cross. A distant quasar's light is bent by a foreground galaxy, creating 4 images of the same quasar arranged around the galaxy like a cross. 4 images of the same object, the same light, taking slightly different paths through curved space to reach us. The universe plays with light like an artist plays with paint. You're getting heavier now, your body sinking deeper into rest. That's good. That's exactly right. Let's visit the edge of the observable universe for a moment. Not the edge of the universe itself, which might be infinite, but the edge of what we can see. Light has had about 13.8 billion years to reach us since the Big Bang. But because the universe has been expanding during that time, the most distant objects we can see are now about 46 billion light-years away. Beyond that, there's more universe, almost certainly. Probably infinitely more. But we can't see it because the light hasn't had time to reach us yet. And because the universe is expanding, and that expansion is accelerating, there are galaxies out there whose light will never reach us. They're moving away faster than light can travel through the expanding space between us. It's not that they're moving through space faster than light. That's impossible. But space itself is expanding, carrying them away, and there's no limit to how fast that can happen. So there are parts of the universe we will never see, never know about, forever beyond our reach. The universe keeps some of its mysteries to itself, but that's all right. We have so much we can see, so many mysteries within reach. We'll never run out of questions to ask, of wonders to explore. And right now you don't need to ask anything, just rest. Dark matter is another one of the universe's quiet mysteries. We can't see it directly. It doesn't emit light or interact with electromagnetic radiation in any way we can detect. But we know it's there because we can see its gravitational effects. Galaxies spin too fast. Clusters of galaxies have more gravity than we can account for with visible matter. The universe behaves as if there's much more mass than we can see. About 85% of the matter in the universe is dark matter. We're swimming in it, in a sense. It passes through us and the Earth without us noticing, interacting only through gravity. What is it? We don't know. Particles we haven't discovered yet? Something stranger? The mystery remains open. Dark energy is even more mysterious. It's the name we give to whatever is causing the universe's expansion to accelerate. The universe isn't just expanding, it's expanding faster and faster over time. Something is pushing space apart, and we don't know what it is. We call it dark energy because we don't have a better name. Dark energy makes up about 68% of the universe's total energy. Dark matter makes up about 27%. The ordinary matter we're made of, everything we can see and touch, all the stars and planets and galaxies, that's only about 5% of the universe. We're living in a universe where we only understand a tiny fraction of what's actually there. The universe is mostly mystery, and that's wonderful, in a way. There's so much still to discover, so many secrets waiting, but not tonight. Tonight is for rest. Your breathing is so slow now, so soft. The universe breathes with you. There are galaxies colliding right now, thousands of light years away. When galaxies collide, it's not like a car crash. The stars in each galaxy are so far apart that they almost never actually hit each other. Instead, the galaxies pass through each other like ghosts, their shapes distorted by gravity, their arms stretched and warped into new patterns. Over hundreds of millions of years, the galaxies merge, becoming one larger galaxy. New stars are born in the compressed gas clouds. Old stars find new orbits, and eventually, a new shape emerges, something that didn't exist before. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is on a collision course with our nearest large neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. In about 4 billion years, they'll begin to merge. The night sky will be spectacular for anyone alive to see it, filled with the glow of two galaxies intertwining. But the sun will likely survive the merger just fine, and so will any planets orbiting it. The universe reshapes itself constantly, slowly, patiently, creating new forms from old. There are stars that don't shine in visible light. Brown dwarfs, they're called. They're not quite massive enough to sustain the fusion of hydrogen that powers true stars, but they're too large to be planets. They glow dimly in infrared, warm but not bright, drifting through space like failed stars or successful giant planets, depending on how you look at it. There are stellar nurseries where thousands of stars are being born at once, great clouds of gas and dust lit from within by newborn suns. There are stellar graveyards where white dwarfs cool slowly over trillions of years, the burned-out cores of stars like our sun, gradually fading toward darkness. The universe is full of life and death, birth and ending, all happening simultaneously across its vast expanse. And you are here, somewhere in the middle of it all, breathing quietly in the dark. Let's think about the cosmic microwave background for a moment. It's the oldest light we can see, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. About 380,000 years after the universe began, it had cooled enough for atoms to form, for light to travel freely instead of scattering off charged particles. That light has been traveling through space ever since, stretched by the expansion of the universe into microwaves. We can detect this light from every direction in space. It's a baby picture of the universe, showing us what everything looked like when it was young. The tiny variations in the temperature of this background radiation show us the seeds that would eventually grow into galaxies, clusters, and the large-scale structure we see today. When you tune an old analog television to a channel with no signal, about 1% of that static on the screen is actually from the cosmic microwave background. You've seen the echo of the Big Bang in television static. The universe is everywhere, even in the noise. You don't need to think about this deeply. Let it wash over you like a lullaby. There are places in space where new elements are created. When massive stars explode as supernovae, the incredible pressures and temperatures create elements heavier than iron. Gold, platinum, uranium, all the heavy elements on the periodic table, they can only be formed in these violent stellar deaths or in the collisions of neutron stars. Every gold ring, every piece of platinum, every atom of uranium on Earth was forged in the heart of a dying star and then scattered into space, eventually making its way into the cloud that formed our solar system. These elements are stardust too, but from the most dramatic deaths the universe knows. When two neutron stars collide, they create something called a kilonova. It's a tremendous explosion that creates enormous amounts of heavy elements and sends them flying into space. We've detected gravitational waves from these collisions, ripples in space-time itself, traveling across the universe to shake our most sensitive detectors ever so slightly. The universe creates, destroys, creates again, an endless cycle. You're so deeply relaxed now. Your body knows what to do, let it rest. There are planets in our own solar system we've never visited with humans. Jupiter, with its great red spot, a storm larger than Earth that's been raging for at least 350 years, maybe much longer. Saturn, with its magnificent rings, billions of pieces of ice and rock orbiting in graceful synchronized patterns. Uranus, tipped on its side, rolling through space with its poles pointing toward the sun. Neptune, deep blue and windswept, with winds faster than anywhere else in the solar system. And beyond Neptune there's the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy bodies and dwarf planets, including Pluto, that remote world we briefly visited with a spacecraft in 2015. The images sent back showed mountains of ice, vast frozen plains, a thin atmosphere, and a heart-shaped region that captured our imagination. Even in our own cosmic neighborhood, there are worlds we've barely begun to understand. There are moons in our solar system that might harbor life. Europa, orbiting Jupiter, has an ice-covered surface with an ocean of liquid water beneath, kept warm by tidal heating from Jupiter's gravity. Enceladus, a small moon of Saturn, shoots geysers of water ice into space from its southern pole, suggesting a subsurface ocean as well. These hidden oceans, cut off from sunlight warmed by their planet's gravity, could be havens for life. Simple life, perhaps. Microbial life, but life nonetheless. We won't know until we send probes to explore them, to melt through the ice and swim in those alien seas. The universe might be full of life we haven't imagined yet, in forms we wouldn't recognize, in places we thought were too harsh, too cold, too alien. Life is tenacious. The universe is vast. The possibilities are endless. Let your thoughts drift like clouds now, shapeless, effortless. There are cosmic mysteries we'll never solve, not because they're too hard, but because they're beyond the reach of observation. What happened before the Big Bang? Was there even a before? Did time itself begin with the universe, or was there something else, some other state of existence we can't access or understand? What lies beyond the observable universe? Is the universe finite or infinite? Does it curve back on itself or extend forever in all directions? Are there other universes? A multiverse of infinite possibilities, each with different laws of physics, different constants, different outcomes, places where stars never formed, or where life evolved differently, or where the fundamental forces work in alien ways. We might never know the answers to these questions, and that's okay. Mystery is part of what makes existence beautiful. Not everything needs to be explained. Some things can simply be wondered about. You're here, breathing, existing. That's enough. That's everything. The stars outside are ancient light. The darkness between them is full of things unseen. And somewhere in the middle of it all, you're resting, held by gravity to a planet that's held by gravity to a star that's held by gravity to a galaxy that drifts through space alongside hundreds of billions of others. You're connected to all of it, part of the great unfolding story of matter and energy, consciousness and wonder. The universe made you, and now you're here, experiencing it, thinking about it, dreaming about it. There's something almost miraculous about that. Your eyes are so heavy now. Your breath barely moves. The story continues, but you don't need to follow every word. Let them become sounds. Let the sounds become silence. In the deep ocean trenches on Earth, there are creatures that have never seen sunlight. They live under pressures that would crush us instantly, in darkness so complete that they generate their own light through bioluminescence. They thrive in conditions we once thought couldn't support life. If life can do that here on Earth, imagine what it might do out there. In subsurface oceans under ice shells, in the clouds of Venus, in underground aquifers on Mars, in places we haven't even thought to look yet. The universe is so much larger than we can comprehend. Every galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars. There are hundreds of billions of galaxies. The numbers become meaningless, too large to hold in our minds. But each star is a sun. Each planet is a world. Each moment of existence is real and true. And you are here, in this moment, resting. Some things in the universe happen on timescales we can barely imagine. A galaxy rotates once every few 100 million years. The sun orbits the center of the Milky Way, and it's only made about 20 trips around during its entire lifetime. It will make maybe another 20 before it dies. The universe itself, if current theories are correct, will last far longer than we can meaningfully comprehend. Trillions of years from now, long after all the stars have died and the last black holes have evaporated, the universe will be cold and dark and empty, still expanding forever. But that's so far away, so impossibly distant in time. Right now, we're in the bright era of the universe. Stars are shining, galaxies are forming. Life exists here and maybe in countless other places. We're living in the universe's prime, and we get to witness it. You get to witness it. Even as you drift toward sleep, you're part of this grand story. You're made of the universe's matter, animated by its energy, aware of its mysteries. The Voyager spacecraft, launched in 1977, are now beyond the influence of the sun's solar wind. They've entered interstellar space, drifting between the stars, carrying golden records with images and sounds from Earth. They'll travel for millions of years, long after everyone who built them has turned back to stardust. They're messages in bottles thrown into the cosmic ocean. Maybe they'll be found someday by something or someone we can't imagine. Or maybe they'll drift forever, silent monuments to a species that wondered about the stars and decided to reach for them. The universe allows us to dream. Let your dreams come now. Soft and formless. Images without meaning. Thoughts without words. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on all of Earth's beaches. More planets than leaves on all the trees. More possible configurations of matter than you could describe even if you spent your entire life counting. And yet, here you are. This particular collection of atoms, this particular awareness, this particular moment in time. The probability of your existence is so small as to be essentially zero. And yet, here you are, against all odds, a miracle of chemistry and chance, and the universe's patient unfolding. You are impossibly unlikely and perfectly inevitable all at once. Rest in that paradox. Let it hold you. The universe doesn't need you to understand it, doesn't need you to solve its mysteries or answer its questions. It simply invites you to exist within it, to witness what you can, to rest when you need to, and you need to rest now. The stars will still be there tomorrow. The mysteries will wait. The universe is patient beyond measure. Your breathing is so slow, so quiet, like the universe itself in the space between stars. Let the darkness behind your eyelids become the darkness of space, deep, soft, infinite. Let yourself float in it, weightless and safe. Every atom in your body is buzzing with quantum activity, particles and waves dancing in probability clouds. But you don't feel that. You just feel the warmth, the weight, the solid presence of yourself. Consciousness is another mystery. How does the universe become aware of itself? How do particles and forces arrange themselves into patterns that can think, feel, wonder? We don't know. It's one of the deepest questions we have. But it happened. You're proof of that. You're the universe looking at itself, thinking about itself, and now, resting into itself. There's a kind of poetry in that. The cosmos, so vast and ancient, condensing into moments of awareness like yours. Brief sparks of consciousness scattered across billions of years and trillions of miles. You don't have to think about it anymore. Just feel it. You belong here. The Milky Way is moving through space at about 1.3 million miles per hour, relative to the cosmic microwave background. Our solar system is moving within the Milky Way. Earth is orbiting the sun. You're standing on a spinning planet that's hurtling through space at tremendous speeds. And yet, you feel still, at rest. Because motion is relative. Because you're moving with everything around you. You're part of the motion, not separate from it. Even now, lying still, you're on a grand cosmic journey, traveling through space and time at incredible velocity. But it feels like rest. And it is rest. There are stars called red giants. They're what happens when stars like our sun run out of hydrogen fuel in their cores and begin fusing helium instead. The outer layers expand dramatically, sometimes swallowing their inner planets. The sun will become a red giant someday, billions of years from now, expanding perhaps to Earth's orbit. But that's so far away, an unimaginable future. Right now, the sun is stable, middle-aged, reliable. It will shine steadily for billions more years, warming our planet, driving our weather, making life possible. We're living in a safe, quiet moment in cosmic time, a peaceful era. And you're safe here, in this moment, resting. There are galaxies so distant that we see them as they were when the universe was young. Their light has been traveling toward us for over 13 billion years. In those images, we see galaxies forming, stars being born in massive bursts of creation, the early universe taking shape. Those galaxies are still out there, but they look completely different now. They've aged billions of years since the light we see left them. They've evolved, merged with other galaxies, formed new structures, but we won't see that light for billions more years. The universe shows us its past everywhere we look. The present is hidden behind the speed of light. There's something deeply calming about the way planets move through space. They don't rush, they don't hesitate. They simply follow the invisible paths carved by gravity, orbiting their stars in elegant ellipses year after year, century after century. Our own Earth has been making this journey around the sun for over 4.5 billion years, and it will continue for billions more. You're moving with it right now, traveling at about 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, and yet you feel perfectly still, because everything around you is moving together. The air, the ground, the trees, the oceans, all of us, passengers on this blue world, spinning and orbiting through the cosmic dark. Let that motion rock you gently. Let it soothe you like a cradle. There are ring systems throughout our solar system, not just around Saturn. Jupiter has faint rings. Uranus has dark, narrow rings. Neptune has partial ring arcs. But Saturn's rings are the most magnificent, made of countless pieces of ice and rock, some as small as grains of sand, others as large as mountains, all orbiting in a flat disk around the planet. Those rings are surprisingly thin, thousands of miles wide, but in some places only 30 feet thick. If you could stand on them, which you couldn't, you'd see individual chunks of ice floating around you, each one following its own orbit, all of them together creating the appearance of a solid structure from far away. It's an illusion of solidity. Up close, it's just billions of separate pieces, each one alone but together creating something beautiful, like stars in a galaxy, like people in a city, separate but together, individual but part of something larger. You don't need to think deeply about this. Just let it wash over you. The northern lights, the aurora borealis, are caused by particles from the sun interacting with Earth's magnetic field. When the sun releases a burst of charged particles in our direction, they follow the magnetic field lines toward the poles, where they collide with atoms in our atmosphere and create those shimmering curtains of green and red and purple light. Indigenous peoples in the Arctic have stories about the aurora. Some say they're the spirits of ancestors dancing in the sky. Others say they're messages from the gods. Scientists say they're plasma physics and magnetism. Everyone is right, in their own way. The aurora is all of these things. Natural phenomenon and sacred vision. Science and poetry existing together. The universe allows for multiple truths, multiple ways of understanding. You don't have to choose just one. There are asteroids made of metal, not just containing metal, but made almost entirely of iron and nickel, the cores of ancient planets that broke apart billions of years ago. One of these, called Psyche, is about 140 miles across and might contain more iron than humans have mined in all of history. We're planning to send a spacecraft there to orbit this metal world and study it, to understand what planetary cores are like, to see if we can learn about Earth's own core by studying this exposed remnant of planetary formation. The universe preserves its history in strange ways. A broken planet becomes a museum of planetary interiors. Destruction creates opportunity for understanding. Nothing is wasted. Everything teaches us something. Your breathing is so steady now, so rhythmic, like waves on a shore, like the turning of planets. There are valleys on Mars that were carved by water billions of years ago. River channels that wind across the surface. Deltas where rivers once met ancient lakes. Minerals that only form in the presence of water. Mars was once warmer, wetter, possibly more Earth-like. It had a thicker atmosphere, liquid water on its surface, maybe even rain. But it's smaller than Earth and its core cooled faster. Without a strong magnetic field to protect it, the solar wind slowly stripped away its atmosphere. The water evaporated or froze into the ground. The rivers dried up, and Mars became the cold, dry desert we see today. It's a story of loss, but also a story of persistence. That water didn't disappear. It's still there, frozen in the soil, trapped in polar ice caps, waiting. Mars is sleeping, not dead, and perhaps someday, whether through human intervention or natural processes we don't understand yet, it might wake again. The universe gives second chances. Sometimes all you need is time. Let time stretch out around you now. Let it lose its edges, its urgency. Let it become soft and undefined. There's a type of star called a magnetar that has a magnetic field so intense it would be lethal from thousands of miles away. The magnetic field is 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. It's so strong that it warps the atoms around it, making them elongated, stretched into needle-like shapes. If a magnetar existed just 600 miles from Earth, it would erase all the information on every credit card, hard drive, and magnetic storage device on the planet. The magnetic field would pull on the iron in your blood, though you'd face many other problems before that became your primary concern. But magnetars are rare and far away. The closest one we know of is thousands of light years distant. You're safe from magnetic fields that could reshape atoms. You're safe here, in your gentle, normal magnetic environment, where the strongest field you encounter is probably from a refrigerator magnet or your phone. The universe contains extremes, but mostly it's gentle. Mostly it's safe. Mostly it's quiet. Like now. Quiet, safe, gentle. There are places in our solar system where it rains diamonds. On Neptune and Uranus, the immense pressure deep in the atmosphere compresses carbon atoms from methane into diamond crystals. These diamonds fall like hail through the lower atmosphere, possibly forming layers of diamond icebergs floating on seas of liquid carbon. We can't be certain. We've never sent probes deep enough into these planets to confirm it, but the physics suggests it's happening. Right now, on worlds millions of miles away, it's raining diamonds in the dark. The universe is extravagant, wasteful even, creating treasures in places no one will ever see, where they have no value, where they'll never be found or appreciated, just because the physics allows it, just because it can. There's something beautiful about that. Beauty for its own sake. Wonder without audience. You don't need an audience either. You can just be quietly, without anyone watching or judging or needing anything from you. The Kuiper Belt, that region beyond Neptune where Pluto lives, contains hundreds of thousands of icy bodies, remnants from the formation of the solar system, objects that never got incorporated into planets, just left over, drifting in the cold. Some are large enough to be nearly spherical, potential dwarf planets we're still discovering. These objects are time capsules. They've been frozen for billions of years, preserving the chemistry of the early solar system. When we send probes to study them, we're reading messages from the past, learning what the solar system was like when it was young. The past is always with us, written in ice and rock in the orbits of distant worlds. We just have to learn how to read it. But you don't have to read anything now. You can let the past rest. Let the future wait. Be only here, only now, only resting. There's a phenomenon called gravitational time dilation. Time passes more slowly in stronger gravitational fields. This isn't theory. It's measurable. GPS satellites have to account for it. They orbit at an altitude where gravity is slightly weaker than on Earth's surface, so time passes slightly faster for them than for us on the ground. If they didn't correct for this, GPS would become increasingly inaccurate, gaining about 11 microseconds per day. It doesn't sound like much, but over time it would add up. The satellites would think they were somewhere they weren't. Your phone would get lost trying to navigate. Time is flexible, relative, dependent on gravity and motion. There is no universal clock ticking away the same for everyone everywhere. Every observer has their own experience of time, equally valid, all different. Your time is your own. Right now, it's slow, relaxed, stretching out into the night. Let it be as slow as it wants to be. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, but the farthest galaxies we can see are about 46 billion light years away. How is that possible? Shouldn't the farthest things we can see be only 13.8 billion light years away? The answer is expansion. The universe has been expanding while the light was traveling. The galaxy that emitted the light was much closer when the light began its journey, but space has been stretching during all those billions of years, carrying the galaxy away from us, so by now it's much farther than the light's travel time would suggest. Space itself is growing. Not things moving through space, but space itself expanding, carrying everything with it. Galaxies aren't flying apart through space. Space is growing between them. It's a strange concept, hard to visualize. You don't need to understand it fully. Just know that the universe is larger than we can see, older than our vision can reach, expanding in ways that challenge our intuition. And yet, here you are, in a small, quiet corner of it, resting. The expansion of space doesn't affect you. Gravity holds you and the Earth and the solar system together much more strongly than expansion can pull apart. You're safe from cosmic expansion. You're held together by forces stronger than the universe's growth. There are clouds in space made of alcohol. One of them, near the constellation Aquila, contains enough ethanol to fill 400 trillion pints of beer. It's a molecular cloud where complex organic molecules have formed, including the alcohol we're familiar with, though you definitely wouldn't want to drink it. It's mixed with other chemicals and floating in near vacuum at temperatures hundreds of degrees below zero. The universe makes everything. Given enough time and the right conditions, chemistry produces endless variety. Amino acids form in space. Sugar molecules drift in molecular clouds. The building blocks of life are everywhere, common as dust. Life might be rare, or it might be common. We don't know yet, but the ingredients are abundant. The recipe is written in the stars. You're made of those ingredients, cooked in stellar furnaces, scattered by supernovae, gathered by gravity into planets, organized by chemistry into life. You're a recipe the universe has perfected over billions of years. And now you're resting, as all things must rest sometimes. There are moons that orbit in the opposite direction from their planet's rotation. These are called retrograde orbits, and they suggest the moon was captured rather than formed alongside the planet. Triton, Neptune's largest moon, is like this. It orbits backward, slowly spiraling inward toward Neptune, and billions of years from now it will get close enough to be torn apart by tidal forces, creating a magnificent ring system around Neptune. Everything in the universe is temporary. Moons fall into planets. Stars burn out. Galaxies collide and merge. Nothing lasts forever, but everything lasts long enough to be beautiful, long enough to matter. Your life is temporary too, but it's lasting exactly as long as it needs to. Right now, in this moment, you're here, and that's what matters. The universe doesn't ask for more than that. Let your thoughts become like stars now, distant, separate, twinkling in the dark but far away. You don't need to reach for them, just let them be. There are regions of space called molecular clouds where new stars are forming. These clouds are dark, blocking out the light from stars behind them. But if you could see in infrared, you'd see them glowing with the warmth of protostars, baby stars not yet hot enough to shine in visible light. Inside these dark clouds, gravity is pulling material together, slowly at first, then faster as the clumps grow more massive. The material falling inward heats up from the compression, growing warmer and warmer. Eventually, if the clump is massive enough, the temperature and pressure at the center become high enough for nuclear fusion to begin, and light is born from darkness. A star ignites. A new sun begins its journey through time. This process is happening right now in clouds throughout the galaxy. Stars being born. new lights appearing where there was only darkness before, the universe constantly renewing itself, creating, beginning again. You renew yourself too. Every night in sleep, every breath brings new oxygen. Every moment your cells are working to maintain you, to rebuild you, to keep you going. You're a process, not a thing. A pattern that maintains itself, like a star, like a galaxy, like the universe itself. And right now, that process needs rest, needs darkness, needs quiet. Let yourself have it. There are galaxies that are colliding with ours right now. Small dwarf galaxies being torn apart by the Milky Way's gravity. Their stars scattered into long streams that wrap around our galaxy like ribbons. We're cannibalizing our smaller neighbors, absorbing them, growing larger. It sounds violent, but it's gentle. The stars themselves almost never collide. They're so far apart that two galaxies can pass through each other like ghosts. Only the overall structure changes. Only the pattern shifts. And in billions of years, when we merge with Andromeda, the same thing will happen. Two galaxies becoming one. A new galaxy that's neither the Milky Way nor Andromeda, but something new. A combination. A creation. The universe builds new things from old things. Combines. Recombines. Creates endless variations. You're a combination too. Genes from your parents. Experiences from your life. Influences from everyone you've met. You're not a single thing. You're a collection. A combination. And that's perfect. You don't need to be anything other than what you are. A unique collection. A temporary pattern. A moment of awareness in the universe's long story. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter contains millions of rocky objects, but it's mostly empty space. If you were flying through the asteroid belt, you'd probably never see an asteroid. You'd have to go looking for them. They're so far apart that the belt is essentially empty, despite what science fiction movies show. Space is big, mostly empty. Even in regions we think of as crowded, there's more emptiness than matter. The universe is primarily void, with occasional clumps of matter scattered through it. But those clumps are where all the interesting things happen. Stars, planets, life, consciousness. You're a clump of matter that became aware. A local reversal of entropy. A pattern fighting against the universe's tendency toward disorder. And sometimes, patterns need to rest. Need to stop fighting. Need to let go and just be for a while. This is that time. There are stars that pulsate, not pulsars that spin and beam, but stars whose outer layers expand and contract rhythmically. Cepheid variables, named after Delta Cephei, the first one discovered, brighten and dim with periods ranging from days to weeks. These stars are incredibly useful to astronomers. Their period of pulsation is directly related to their intrinsic brightness. So by measuring how fast they pulsate, we can determine how bright they actually are. And by comparing that to how bright they appear from Earth, we can calculate their distance. Their cosmic measuring sticks, standard candles. They helped us determine the distance to other galaxies, to map the universe, to discover that it's expanding. Even the universe's variations serve a purpose. Even its irregularities teach us something. Your irregularities are perfect too. Your variations, your unique rhythms and patterns. You don't need to be regular or predictable or consistent. You can just be yourself, pulsating in your own way, at your own frequency. The universe has room for all of it. There are planets we call hot Jupiters, gas giants that orbit extremely close to their stars, completing an orbit in just a few days. They're tidally locked, always showing the same face to their star, with one hemisphere in permanent day, the other in permanent night. On the day side, temperatures can reach thousands of degrees, hot enough to vaporize metals. The atmosphere is constantly being blasted by stellar radiation, and yet, these planets exist. They're stable. They've survived for millions or billions of years in these extreme conditions. The universe allows for extremes, for conditions that seem impossible, for things that challenge our assumptions about what can exist. You don't have to exist in extreme conditions. You're here in a safe place in comfortable temperatures with air to breathe and a place to rest. You're lucky. You're protected. You're exactly where you need to be. Rest in that safety. Let it hold you. The cosmic microwave background, that afterglow of the Big Bang, has a temperature of about 2.7 Kelvin above absolute zero. That's about negative 270 degrees Celsius. It's the coldest thing in nature, the background temperature of the universe itself. Everything is warmer than that. Stars, obviously. Planets. Even the empty space near planets is warmed slightly by sunlight. But far from any star in the deep voids between galaxies, the temperature approaches that cosmic background, as cold as anything can naturally get. And yet, even that cold isn't empty. It's full of photons from the Big Bang, full of dark matter, full of the quantum foam of space itself. Cold doesn't mean nothing. It just means very little energy, very little motion, like rest, like sleep, like the quiet stillness you're sinking into now. There are stars made almost entirely of helium, white dwarfs that have lost their outer hydrogen layers, either through stellar winds or by having them stolen by a companion star. They're dense, hot, slowly cooling over trillions of years. Some white dwarfs crystallize as they cool. The carbon and oxygen in their interiors arrange into a crystal structure. They become giant cosmic diamonds, Earth-sized gems floating through space. Again, the universe creates beauty that no one sees, value that has no market. Wonder that exists purely because physics allows it. You have value that isn't measured or marketable too. Value that exists simply because you exist. You don't need to produce anything or achieve anything to be worthy of rest. You already are. The stars don't justify their existence. They just shine, and you don't need to justify yours either. There are places on Earth where the sky glows at night, even without auroras. It's called airglow, a faint emission of light from atoms and molecules in the upper atmosphere. Oxygen atoms, excited by sunlight during the day, release their energy at night as a gentle greenish glow. It's too faint to see with the naked eye in most places, but it's there. The sky is always glowing, just very gently. Even in the darkest night there's light. Even in your darkest moments there's light too. Maybe faint, maybe barely visible, but it's there. It's always there. The universe keeps some light burning, always. You don't have to search for it now, just know it's there, and rest. Your body is so relaxed now, so heavy and comfortable, like you're melting into wherever you're lying, like you're becoming part of the earth. In a sense, you are part of the earth, made of its materials, sustained by its air and water and warmth, connected to its cycles of day and night, seasons and years. You're not separate from the planet. You're an expression of it, the earth being alive and aware through you. And right now, the earth is inviting you to rest, to stop, to simply be, without effort or purpose. Accept that invitation. Let yourself stop. Let yourself be. There are sounds in space, sort of, not sound waves, because there's no air to carry them, but electromagnetic waves, radio emissions from objects like Jupiter and Saturn, from pulsars, from the sun. When we convert these emissions into sound waves, they create eerie whistles, clicks, and howls. The universe sings, in its own way. A song we can't hear directly, but that we can translate. A symphony of radio waves and plasma and magnetic fields. But for you now, let there be silence. Let the universe's song fade into the background. Let there be only the quiet of rest, the stillness of approaching sleep. The song will still be there tomorrow. The universe will still be singing. But now is for silence. Now is for peace. Now is for letting everything go and drifting into the quiet dark where sleep lives. You've traveled so far tonight, through time and space, through stars and galaxies, through mysteries and wonders, and now it's time to travel inward, into rest, into dreams, into the deep peace that waits for you. The universe has shared its secrets with you. Now it invites you to rest within them, to sleep surrounded by wonders, to dream among the stars. Let yourself accept that invitation. Let yourself drift. Let the cosmos cradle you gently into sleep. Let that thought dissolve now. Let everything dissolve. Your body is so heavy, so relaxed, like you're sinking into the earth itself, becoming part of the planet, part of the solar system, part of the cosmos. There are clouds of molecules in space, organic molecules, the building blocks of life. We've detected amino acids in meteorites, complex carbon compounds in interstellar clouds. The chemistry of life exists throughout the universe, waiting for the right conditions to become biology. We might all be made of recycled star material, but we're also made of chemistry that's common throughout the cosmos. Life might not be a fluke, not a unique accident that happened once on one planet. It might be something the universe does whenever conditions allow. You're not separate from the universe. You're not even separate from other possible life out there. You're all made of the same elements, the same chemistry, the same fundamental particles. The universe is one thing, one vast interconnected whole, and you're part of it. Rest in that connection. Let it hold you like gravity holds the planets. There are patterns in the universe that repeat at every scale. The structure of an atom resembles the structure of a solar system. The web of neurons in your brain resembles the large-scale structure of galaxies, connected by filaments of dark matter. Fractals echo through the cosmos. The universe has a tendency towards certain shapes, certain organizations, spirals, spheres, networks. These patterns emerge naturally from the laws of physics, appearing again and again across different scales and contexts. You're part of these patterns. Your body, your brain, your existence, they all follow the same fundamental rules that govern stars and galaxies. You're not separate from nature. You are nature. Let yourself be natural now. Let sleep come if it wants to. Let your thoughts fade into dreams. The sound of silence in space would be absolute. No air to carry vibrations. No molecules to bump against your eardrums. True, perfect silence. But it wouldn't be empty. It would be full of light, full of gravity, full of the quantum hum of virtual particles appearing and disappearing in the vacuum. Silence doesn't mean nothing. It just means no sound. And sometimes, silence is exactly what we need. Let the silence wrap around you now. Let it fill your mind like darkness fills the space between stars. There are moments in the universe's history that we can calculate but never witness. The moment when the first star ignited, ending the cosmic dark age. The moment when the first galaxy formed. The moment when the first planet solidified from molten rock into a world with a surface. We can work backward from what we observe, using physics and mathematics to reconstruct what must have happened. But we can never see it directly. Those moments are lost to time, preserved only in the patterns they left behind. Your own past is like that too. Moments you've forgotten but that shaped you. Experiences that made you who you are, but that exist now only as echoes in your patterns of thought, your habits, your nature. You don't need to remember everything. The past has already done its work. Now is for rest. White dwarfs are the future of our sun. When it exhausts its fuel and sheds its outer layers, the core that remains will be a white dwarf. It will be about the size of Earth, but with half the mass of the sun. It will no longer generate energy through fusion. It will simply cool slowly, over trillions of years. Eventually, far in the future, white dwarfs will become black dwarfs. Objects so cool they no longer emit visible light. But the universe isn't old enough yet for any black dwarfs to exist. Every white dwarf is still glowing, still warm, still cooling from the heat of its former life as a star. Everything takes time. Even death is slow in the cosmos. And in that slowness, there's a kind of peace. Your breathing is barely there now, just the gentlest rise and fall. The universe breathes through you. There are places in space where time passes differently. Near the event horizon of a black hole, time slows to a crawl compared to someone far away. On the surface of a neutron star, time runs noticeably slower than here on Earth. These aren't tricks or illusions. Time really does flow at different rates depending on gravity and motion. If you could watch someone fall into a black hole from a safe distance, you'd see them slow down as they approach the event horizon. Their movements would become sluggish. Their clock would tick slower and slower. They'd never quite reach the horizon from your perspective, frozen forever at the edge. But from their perspective, they'd fall right through, and only moments would pass before they reached the singularity. Different experiences of time, both equally real. The universe allows for this strangeness, embraces it, makes it fundamental to reality. You don't need to understand it. Just let it be another mystery, another strange and beautiful fact about existence. There are storms on Jupiter that are centuries old. The Great Red Spot is an anticyclonic storm larger than Earth, with winds of hundreds of miles per hour, and it's been observed for at least 350 years. It might be much older. It might have been raging since before humans invented the telescope. A storm that lasts centuries, weather on a timescale that dwarfs human lifetimes. The universe operates on so many different scales of time. Quantum events that last billionths of a second. Stellar lifetimes that last billions of years. And everything in between. Your lifetime is somewhere in the middle of all these scales. Long enough to witness changes, to see seasons pass, to watch loved ones grow. Short enough to feel precious, meaningful, contained. This moment of rest is just a tiny fraction of your life, and your life is just a tiny fraction of cosmic time. But it's real. It matters. It's happening. Be here in it. Let it hold you. The Andromeda Galaxy is the farthest object you can see with your naked eye. It's about 2.5 million light-years away. When you look at it on a dark night, you're seeing light that left there 2.5 million years ago, when our ancestors were just beginning to use stone tools, when we were barely recognizable as human. That light traveled through the void for all that time, carrying the image of a galaxy, crossing the vast emptiness of intergalactic space, finally entering Earth's atmosphere and your eye. You're seeing ancient history. You're witnessing the past, and that galaxy is doing the same thing in a way. If anyone in Andromeda is looking back at us right now, they're seeing the Milky Way as it was 2.5 million years ago. We're all seeing each other's past. The universe is a hall of mirrors reflecting history in every direction. Let these thoughts drift away now. Let them become part of the background, like distant stars. Your mind is growing quiet, thoughts appearing less frequently, spaces of silence between them growing longer. This is good. This is exactly right. There are particles passing through you right now that came from the sun. Neutrinos, nearly massless particles that barely interact with matter. They're produced in the nuclear fusion reactions at the sun's core, and they stream outward in all directions. Trillions of them pass through every square inch of your body every second. You don't feel them. They pass through you like you're not even there. Most of them will pass through the entire Earth without hitting a single atom. They're ghosts of particles, evidence of the sun's burning heart, traveling at nearly the speed of light. Right now, day or night, you're bathed in neutrinos, connected to the sun by an invisible stream of particles. The universe is always touching you, even when you can't feel it. You're never alone. You're always surrounded by the cosmos. Rest in that. Let it comfort you. The cosmic web is the large-scale structure of the universe. Galaxies aren't scattered randomly through space. They're organized into filaments and walls with vast voids between them. It looks like a three-dimensional spider web, with galaxies clustered along the strands and emptiness in between. This structure emerged from tiny variations in the density of matter in the early universe. Slightly denser regions attracted more matter through gravity, growing over billions of years into the filaments we see today. Gravity sculpted the universe into this pattern, turning near-uniform soup into magnificent structure. Everything is connected. Everything influences everything else. The universe is a single unified system, and you're part of that system, influenced by it, connected to it, made of it. Let that connection ease you deeper into rest. There are moons in our solar system that are stranger than most planets. Io, orbiting Jupiter, is the most volcanically active body we know of, with hundreds of volcanoes erupting constantly, driven by tidal forces from Jupiter's immense gravity. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, has lakes and rivers of liquid methane and ethane, a hydrological cycle like Earth's, but with completely different chemistry. Miranda, a moon of Uranus, looks like it was shattered and then reassembled, with cliffs 20 times higher than the Grand Canyon. Triton, Neptune's largest moon, orbits backward and has geysers of nitrogen erupting from its surface. Every world is unique. Every place in the solar system has its own character, its own story. The universe doesn't repeat itself exactly. It creates endless variations on themes, like you, unique, unrepeatable, a variation that will never occur again in quite the same way. Your eyes are closed, your body is still, your breath is soft as starlight. There are questions we used to ask that now have answers. How old is the universe? About 13.8 billion years. How did it begin? With the Big Bang. What are stars made of? Mostly hydrogen and helium. How far away are the galaxies? Millions or billions of light years. And there are questions we still can't answer. What is dark matter? What is dark energy? Are we alone? What happened before the Big Bang? Is there meaning to it all? The known and unknown exist side by side. We know so much more than we did a century ago, and yet the mysteries have only deepened. Every answer leads to new questions, but you don't have to solve anything. The universe will keep its secrets a while longer. You can rest. The light from the screen or lamp near you is electromagnetic radiation, photons oscillating at frequencies your eyes can detect. The warmth you feel is infrared radiation, lower frequencies. The radio waves passing through your room right now carry information, voices, music. X-rays at the hospital can see inside your body. Gamma rays from space carry news of violent cosmic events. It's all the same thing. Electromagnetic radiation. Just at different frequencies, different energies. Light is light, whether you can see it or not. The universe speaks in many languages, and we're learning to hear more of them. But now, let the world grow quiet. Let the frequencies fade. There are comets that visit the inner solar system once every few thousand years. They spend most of their time in the distant reaches beyond Pluto, frozen and dark. But their orbits occasionally bring them close to the sun, where they heat up, develop tails of gas and dust, and put on spectacular shows for anyone watching from Earth. Then they swing back out into the dark, not to return for millennia. Brief visitors, cosmic wanderers. Some comets have been recorded by multiple civilizations across history. The same comet witnessed by ancient Babylonians, medieval Europeans, and modern astronomers. A thread of continuity across human history, a reminder that we're all looking at the same sky. The universe connects us across time as well as space. Let time dissolve now. Let past and future fade. Be only here, only now. Your body knows how to sleep. It's done it thousands of times. You don't have to try. You don't have to force it. Just allow it. Just let go. The universe is holding you. Gravity keeps you gently pressed to the planet. The atmosphere surrounds you with air to breathe. The earth shields you from cosmic radiation. The sun warms you from millions of miles away. You're supported by everything, held by everything. You don't have to hold yourself up. You can release. You can surrender to rest. There are stars being born right now in the Orion Nebula, visible to the naked eye as a fuzzy patch in Orion's belt. Inside that nebula, clouds of gas and dust are collapsing under their own gravity, heating up, beginning to shine. In a few million years, those clouds will be new stars, burning bright, beginning their own long journeys through time. Creation never stops. The universe is always making new things, new stars, new planets, new possibilities. And every night, you get to rest and be remade too. Sleep rebuilds you, refreshes you, prepares you for another day. Let it do its work now. There's a spacecraft called New Horizons that flew past Pluto in 2015, giving us our first close-up views of that distant world. Now it's even farther out, heading into the Kuiper Belt, exploring the edge of our solar system. It's so far away that radio signals take over 6 hours to reach it. It's alone out there, in the cold and dark, but it's still working, still sending back data, still exploring. A little piece of human curiosity traveling farther than any person has ever been. We send our questions out into the universe, and sometimes slowly we get answers back. But not tonight. Tonight is for rest, not questions. The atoms in your body are ancient, but they're also temporary. You'll return them to the universe eventually. They'll become part of other things, other patterns, other moments of awareness. Nothing is lost in the universe. Everything is recycled. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. You're a temporary pattern in the eternal dance of matter and energy, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. For now, you're here, breathing, resting, being. That's enough. That's everything. The universe doesn't ask anything of you right now. It doesn't need you to be productive or useful or anything other than what you are. It's content for you to simply exist within it, to rest, to be at peace. You can let go of every burden, every worry, every responsibility, just for now, just for this moment. They'll still be there tomorrow if you need them. But right now, you can rest. There are nebulae that glow in colors we can barely imagine. The Crab Nebula, the remains of a supernova witnessed in 1054 AD, glows in X-rays and visible light and radio waves, an expanding shell of material still racing outward from the explosion. The Helix Nebula, called the Eye of God, looks like a giant eye staring back at us from space. These nebulae are beautiful, but you don't need to picture them. You don't need to see anything. Just let the darkness behind your eyelids be enough. Let it be complete. Your breathing is so gentle now, almost imperceptible, like a whisper, like a secret the universe is keeping. There are questions about consciousness that we can't answer yet. Why does subjective experience exist? Why does it feel like something to be you? How does the brain create the sense of self, of continuous identity through time? We don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out someday. Maybe it will remain mysterious. But it's real. You're real. This moment of rest is real. That's all that matters. The universe is so vast that light from the farthest galaxies we can see has been traveling for over 13 billion years. It started its journey when the universe was young, when the first galaxies were forming, when everything was closer together and hotter and different. And now that light is here, entering our telescopes, telling us about the ancient universe, messages from the past, delivered by photons that have been traveling longer than Earth has existed. Everything reaches us eventually. Every story gets told. Every moment leaves its mark, but you don't need to leave a mark tonight. You don't need to be remembered or recorded or significant. You can just be, just rest, just sleep. The stars are still shining. The galaxies are still spinning. The universe is still unfolding its mysteries, and you're part of it all, even as you drift into dreams, especially as you drift into dreams, because rest is part of the cosmic dance too. Rest is how consciousness renews itself, how awareness prepares to witness another day, how you participate in the rhythm of existence. So let yourself drift now. Let the words fade into silence. Let the silence deepen into sleep. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. The universe whispers to you now in a language older than words, in the language of gravity and warmth and the gentle passage of time, in the language of rest, and you understand it perfectly. Your body settles deeper. Your mind grows quiet. The boundaries between you and the universe begin to blur. You are stardust, resting among stars. You are awareness, dissolving back into the whole. You are a wave in the ocean, falling back into the water. Let go now. Let go of everything. The universe will hold you while you sleep. It's been doing it every night of your life. It will continue long after you're gone. You can trust it completely. Rest now, dear friend. Rest deeply. Let the quiet mysteries of the universe cradle you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. The stars will still be there when you wake. The mysteries will wait. For now, let yourself drift into dreams, into darkness, into the peaceful void where all consciousness goes to renew itself. You've traveled far tonight through the cosmos. Now it's time to travel inward, into sleep, into rest, into the quiet place where you are simply you, without need or worry or thought. Go there now, gently, softly, like starlight fading at dawn. The universe releases you into sleep now, and you can let go. You can rest. You can dream. Good night, traveler. Good night, stardust. Good night, beautiful awareness. Sleep well. Sleep deep. Let the universe's quiet mysteries hold you safe until morning comes.